This video, I'm going to read a part of Sir Richard Burton's book, The First Step in East Africa, an exploration of Harar. And in this part, he's talking about Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay. Now, this is an individual that is well known in the history of the Horn of Africa. And in fact, is known to be the person who uh, took or made a lot of effort in spreading Islam, especially among the people of Harar, the Afar, and people in that region. He spread Islam in that region alongside other individuals. So he's a well-known individual. And he's also said to be the person who introduced Mera or Meroka or you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to use a word that will make my video run into issues. So he's often said to be the person who introduced Mera to what we know today as Yemen. And he's known for that, for those two reasons. He's known for taking a leading role in spreading Islam in Harar and that region, and also for introducing Kat in Yemen. Now, I'm going to read a part of Sir Richard Burton's book where he discusses him going to visit the tomb of Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay while he was in Zayla. Now, the tomb is in Zayla, or was in Zayla. I guess he still is in Zayla. So when he went there, as he was preparing to go to Harar, he took 1 day to go and visit and see what was happening. And I'm going to read that part where he talks about his visit to this to the tomb of Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay. Now, this is what he says. The Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay lies under a whitewashed dome close to the Ashurbara gate of Zayla. An inscription cut in wood over the door informs us that the building dates from 1155 in the Islamic calendar, which is about 1741 AD. It is now dilapidated. The lintel is falling in, the walls are decaying, and the cupola, which is rudely built with primitive ingredients, each step supported as in Kashmir and other parts of India by wooden beams, threatens the heads of the pious. The building is divided into two compartments, forming a mosque and a mazar, or place of pious visitation. In the latter are 5 tombs, the 2 largest covered with common chintz stuff of glaring colors. Ibrahim was one of the 44 Hasrami saints who landed at Berbera, sat in solemn conclave upon Aulio Kumbo, or Holy Hill, and thence dispersed far and wide for the purpose of propagandism. He uses the word propagandism, which I'll maybe say, maybe a better word would be evangelizing for in English, or spreading Islam. I think that's what he means. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what he means by the word propagandism, which has a negative connotation, of course. He continues to say, he traveled to Harar about AD 1430, converted many to Al-Islam, and left there an honored memory. His name is immortalized in Al-Yaman by the introduction of Al-Kat. So he went to visit the tomb of Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay, and he describes the building in which it existed. Seems like it was a very old building. Remember, this is 1850s, I think 1854. So, and the inscriptions on the building seems to suggest that the building was built or constructed around 1741. So that's a little over a century. So this was a very old building, and he describes it decaying, and considering that some of the material that was used to build this building looks like it was wood, then it was actually a very old building that was falling apart for the most part. Now, it is in this building that the tomb of Ibrahim Abu Zarbay was located. And if you know anything about this story, I would like to hear about it. Is the tomb still there? Or what happened to that entire structure? Is it still standing, or it's no longer existing? And if it's no longer existing, what happened to the tomb of Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay? And I know there are people who watch me, and they probably come from Zayla, or the place where the city of Zayla existed or still exists, at least some form of it. Or maybe there are people who visited that part of the Horn of Africa and have come across information about this. So it will be very interesting. It will be very interesting to learn as to what happened to this building. I guess the building is no longer there. If it was so dilapidated in 1850s, that's like close to 200 years actually. Not yet, but it's not very far from 200 years. We are away by about 25 years before it is 200 years. So, yeah, it will be very interesting to find out what has happened to that structure. So, yeah, so Sir Richard Burton did go to visit this site. This is one of the sites that he visited while he was in Zayla. And of course, this is one of those sites that have very important historical significance, especially considering that Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zarbay is considered to be one of the earliest people to spread Islam in what later on came to be known as Harar or Ifat. And parts of Adal, of course, and him also being recognized to be the individual who was responsible for introducing, let me say, Al-Kat to Yemen. And I know you understand what I mean. Now, there are other records I was trying to dig around. There are other sources that seems to suggest that he was responsible for introducing coffee to the Arabian Peninsula, at least Southern Arabia. Um, but doesn't seem so, because other sources say that the person who is often mentioned to have introduced coffee to that part of the world is one Sheikh Al-Shazili, who is buried in Mocha. That is a part of what we know today as Yemen, I'm thinking. So there is that a little bit of historical confusion about whether Sheikh Ibrahim Abu Zabay did introduce coffee to Southern Arabia, or it was somebody else. But it seems like there is no, it's almost agreed that he did introduce Al-Kat to that part of the world. Those are my random thoughts.